war. Why can't we just all get on? Great big group hug and say we love each other. But that ain't going to happen, is it? No. Not when we've got a capitalist system that is underwritten by greed. Or does the capitalist system promote greed? And then we've got warmongers. You've got Vladimir Putin and President of Israel. You see, you can't really have greed without jealousy, I suppose. Power. That's where the warmongering comes in, like Vladimir Putin invading Ukraine. But what it has taught us is how warfare is changing. You've got the United Kingdom. They've developed the Dragonfire laser, which basically makes missiles fry inside. Appears to be quite efficient and extremely cheap. Costs £10 for every shot. Darn sight cheaper than air defence systems such as missiles. Still in the early days, I suppose there's still more testing to be done, but they are going to be fitting them to ships, these Dragonfire lasers. So, I'm not going to do it unless there's some element of confidence in them. But I would be more happy with that because the environment, you know, these missiles cause a huge amount of detriment to the environment, pollution and what have you. But like I say, war has changed. And you consider what limited munitions Ukraine has had. I know people can say it's a hell of a lot they've had, you know. Obviously ain't enough. They've improvised. Improvised with domestic drones. Dropping hand grenades on people's heads. And then they've evolved from that. They've now developed a UAV, unmanned autonomous vehicle, boats. I think people are looking on now and they're seeing all this. Other countries are seeing this. Hang on, this is the future of warfare. It isn't necessarily boots on the ground. It's UAVs. It's drones. Fighting from a distance. And the reason why I bring this up is because some Baltic states have agreed to establish a drone wall. A drone wall. No, it's not a great big wall. That's sort of like autonomous. No. It's basically a series of drones that are, well, connected together, I suppose. Not by chains, but I mean electronically. Well, the Baltic states have agreed to establish a drone wall to protect their external borders with the help of these UAVs. Now, basically, the countries are Poland, Finland, Norway, and Latvia. Now, it's a completely new thing. The drone wall will be stretching from Norway to Poland, and the goal is to use drones and other technologies to protect the borders against provocations from unfriendly countries and to prevent smuggling. Drugs, I imagine. The countries will use UAVs to monitor the border areas to create a drone wall and apply counter-drone systems to intercept drones from hostile countries used for smuggling or provocations, such as invasion. They stated that Lithuania has developed plans to enhance the protection of its border using drones to emphasise that the Lithuanian State Border Guard Service recently established a UAV unit and is acquiring additional UAVs and counter-drone systems. Do I blame them? No, I don't. Not only consider what's going on in Ukraine, but also what Russia's been doing recently. Estonia. Russia's been removing the buoys, the marker buoys, to say, the borders, basically. Now, when you consider what they were doing to Ukraine on the border, massing troops, telling us, no, we're not going to invade, this is just a training exercise. 2 weeks before they invaded Ukraine, Liz Truss went over there to speak to Sergei Lavrov and made a complete and utter idiot of herself in Russia, let's say to Sergei Lavrov, her counterpart. He said she was an idiot. She didn't know her C's. But we know she's an idiot, don't we? She's so useless and has limited shelf life. She was beaten by a lettuce. So it makes you wonder if they're going out there and moving these boys, marker boys. This is a provocation. Just like China. It's a provocation to Taiwan. Because they want their chip industry, probably. As well as obviously claiming land back. And then, pretty much what Russia wants to do. Putin wants to claim back land lost. So the Lithuanian minister couldn't specify what the idea would be, when the idea would be implemented, but noted that the drone wall could be funded by the EU. And adding that the ministers also agreed to organise joint evacuation exercises in participating countries. See, these are small countries, not Poland so much, but you've talked about small economies, Estonia and Lithuania and places like that. How do they defend themselves against Russia? They're going to need the EU, NATO, and what have you. My feeling is, and it's a risky one, I said this at the beginning, that this is going to happen. As in, Putin's going to just keep dragging us out and out and out. It's not going to end anytime soon. And you just get more death. I think we should have gone in. I do. I think NATO should have stepped in. I think we should have quickly brought Ukraine into the fold and defended Ukraine and hopefully nipped it in the bud without any further provocation. Hopefully. You got to ask yourself, would Putin really push that button when basically it'd be annihilation? As long as you're invading Russia and you're just defending, I think it's a very hard propaganda spin he'll try, obviously. Just like North Korea. Very worrying times, isn't it? Like I say, why can't we just all have a great big group hug? Wife and my grandchildren. And obviously my children. And now we've got the risk of conscription. Masked under a national service. Mandatory. The line, what a mess. The crazy thing is, this has been going on really, it's been going on for a long time, but it seems to speed up since Brexit. Vladimir Putin wants to destabilise Europe. That's why they funded it. They funded Brexit. That's why the likes of Nigel Farage and Aaron Banks. We still don't know where the money came from, do we? Well, we know, but, there's no evidence as such, and he won't tell us where it's come from. Funding for Brexit. And then you got Cambridge Analytica, and he pushed this. He pushed Brexit to destabilise Europe, to destabilise the UK, and that's what it's done. We're in a very precarious position. What say you? Please leave it in the comments down below. Toodaloo.